thing. This is something that I find old school farmhouse really just did not do well. Give your potential buyers, your guests to your home, yourself, a place for their eye to rest. Something that I see far too often is small scale gallery walls or small scale paintings, and you have a lot of wall space to cover, or you'll put your art too high, or you'll put it too low, or it'll be just this little dinky little thing on the wall, and there's really nowhere for the eye to rest. Oftentimes I find that when it comes to putting art on a wall, it's better to have nothing on the wall and a beautiful light fixture than it is to have something too small on that wall. Restoration hardware has this way of creating a gallery wall, which is really inexpensive for you to do if all you're doing is just buying the frames from IKEA or Amazon in bulk and putting your own art in it. They provide these gallery walls that you see as a complete picture, a complete painting, whatever, a complete installation, as opposed to each individual piece. And the way that they do this is they stack every canvas or every frame together so closely that they're touching. So instead of viewing individual parts, you're viewing all of the individual parts as a completed whole. Or they'll do this other thing where they will put a large scale piece of art on a wall, and by large scale I mean typically oversized. Oftentimes I find that it's better to go slightly too large or slightly larger than you think is necessary in a space than it is to choose something that you think is big enough. When in doubt, go larger. And again, this can be done very inexpensively. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. As a matter of fact, oftentimes I would encourage you just to make your own art. I've done this myself. One of the things that I enjoy doing is I enjoy going to Goodwill, finding a beautiful frame, because framing is ridiculously expensive, and I'll paint over the painting that's in the beautiful frame. I've done this numerous times. We have many beautiful art pieces in our house that are all paintings that I've made over vintage pieces from Goodwill. Very inexpensive. I think the most that I've paid for a framed piece of art was maybe $24, 2 feet by 6 feet, roughly. It was very tasking to get it in my car. But I love it because it provides a very large scale art piece in our laundry room. Now, part of me wishes that I put this in a different spot than our laundry room, but needless to say, I'm very happy with the piece that I created from this art piece that I only paid $25 for. And you think about it, that's really not a lot of money to spend, especially when you consider how much a small scale frame costs to get custom. You do not have to do that. You don't have to do that. As a matter of fact, I would urge you not to do that. Paint it yourself, or buy something that an artist made and frame it in an inexpensive frame from somewhere like IKEA or from somewhere like Amazon. I found two 36 by 48 frames from Goodwill, and it did not cost me that much money. I think how much did I pay for those? I paid $10 for those. The art pieces that I put in them, they were custom by an artist that sells on Amazon. I wish I hadn't purchased them from Amazon, but I did. It is what it is, but I'm happy with the art that's in those frames, and I can tell you quite honestly, there's no way that I would have been able to find 2 large-scale frames like that for as cheaply as I found them. And again, you're providing visual interest. You're providing a place for the eye to rest, a focal point, if you will. This is something that interior stylists and interior designers talk about all the time. A single focal point per space. Major focal point, I should say, per space. This doesn't necessarily mean that you have to buy a million things. This doesn't necessarily mean that you need to paint a focal wall. As a matter of fact, focal walls can be great in certain spaces, but not so great depending on how you do them. And that's it. That's all I got for you for this series on buyer experience lessons from restoration hardware. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.